Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign of Earth sign, Sun, Moon or Rising. I decided to go with Earth because I got some clear messages this morning to do an Earth reading. I've been cleaning, house inspection, etc. I got woken up to a person to check on the smoke alarm. I'd forgotten all about it. So here I am, half naked, trying to answer the door. Thank God he came back. But kind of just, I woke up out of one of those visions that I get when I'm asleep, when I have one of those deep visions that I can't wake up from. I was in one of those. So if I hadn't have been in one of those, I would have woken up earlier. But what did wake me up was the ending of that dream. And that's why I was able to get up and put something on, because I had literally just a top on and no bottoms. So I apologise to the man that had to wait for me, but I just forgot all about it. It's been a hectic week. So for all you cross watchers, this could even be, you may have Virgo in your chart prominently. We've got a lot of cards that point to the fact that I'm reading specifically for a Virgo, which is the Hermit card. That's the first card I pulled. Now, the decks I'm using, as always, is the Fairy Tarot by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine, the Work With Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, who I met in person. She does a podcast as well. She's, I think, from Newcastle. The Fairy Tarot cards, I already wrote that, didn't I? The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid, which I've had for a while. Now, what I've got for you is the Hermit card. So specifically, I'm picking up energy, as I said, for a Virgo, who is coming into your life, who has a vested interest in you. They are a perfectionist. They may be spiritually based. The Hermit is a mentor. You may be taking a break from society today, a commitment to your growth. You may have just decided to clean or just get some odd jobs done that you haven't had a chance to do. I've just started a job recently, and you don't realise how much work you do at home besides that work. And so things that you forgot to clean, all of a sudden it just gets on top of you, it snowballs, and you realise you've got to clean a whole bunch of things because you've been so busy working. So I'm now time poor. So doing these readings, I'm now time poor. Now, what's crossing your path? You may be a meticulous person, a perfectionist. You may be clean living. You may like to hermit. You may like to be on your own. You might find you regenerate better being inside rather than being out with people. I've found that since COVID, if I don't have to go out, I won't go out. I'll only go out if I specifically have to go and do something. That's just me. I'm a loner, always have been. Only child for 10 years, so I learnt to amuse myself. I don't really require a lot of company. It's nice to go out and chit-chat and meet people, but I tend to hermit quite a lot. Two of Cups is crossing your path. You may have someone who's going to fall in love or make a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. You may have a choice between two people. I've got two people in this reading. I have specifically an air sign and specifically a Libran, because there's the balance, the scales. You're taking everyone else's input into consideration. Make viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time. There's no need to rush. It also talks about the male and feminine energy. They may have a lot of feminine in their chart. It's not gender specific. It's gender fluid, right? People that present as male but actually have quite feminine qualities, or women that are very female that present quite masculine, have masculine qualities, does not determine the gender. It says that you're maybe weighing up your options between the two people that currently are in your orbit. That could be a Libran and specifically a Virgo. And the Libran could be younger than you because they're coming up as a princess of winter, or they just may be young at heart. You may be trying to balance something in your life. You may be trying to sign a document, maybe a new lease. You might be looking at weighing up your options, like I said, between two people. And in the past, you came from a marriage that didn't kind of work out, and it was sad, but, it's just what happened. You may be someone who's royal. It's got a castle in that picture. You may have come from royalty, and you may have gotten married to someone that it just didn't work out, or isn't working out, and you've had to leave that situation, or you're in the process of leaving, and you're interested in this new person, this Libran or they may have Libra strongly in their chart, or they could be like an Aquarian or a Gemini with placements in Libra. I know I've got I think 9th house in Libra, 10th house in Capricorn, and then there's Virgo. I've got that in my chart too. Then we've got here 6 of spring. This is like the Ticketek parade. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices bring rewards, success and public recognition. You may be in the public eye. You may be on the wide world web. You may be doing a YouTube channel like I am, but it's saying that there's some attention coming towards you where you're being celebrated for the journey you have currently come through. You may have come through a dark night of the soul. Someone told me that meditation requires you to pray, to look into a candle and watch it grow and die down. It talks about meditating or finding a way to switch off that brain that is constant, the monkey mind they call it. I have a monkey mind. I'm ADHD. I do not stop, and neither does my intuition. I would like to have a rest from it. It's constant. If anyone's got some pointers, please leave it down in the comments below. If you want a personal reading, it's kellyhardyman28@gmail.com. I haven't figured out how to do them properly. I get help with a Computer Pal place I go to on Tuesdays on helping me to send a huge file through. I know you can't do it via Facebook, and I know it's impossible to send it by email. So sometimes you have to go through Google itself and send it another way. So I'm going to get them to help me do that. I'm going to do that more often, but I'm being so busy, I haven't had a chance. I did find that this 6 of Swords can definitely talk about a trip. Positive changes are on the way, a welcome relief from troubled times. You may be traveling or decide to relocate from a cold country to a warm country, or from a warm country to a cold climate. It says that this is much needed changes. You need to go on a holiday so that you can come back refreshed and have a new perspective, or you may decide just to move. And it may require travel over sea, over water. It may require you jumping on a plane because you fall in love with this person. Because they've got the 8 of Wands. That's the arrows of love in the Rider-Waite tarot deck. It talks about stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. All of a sudden you could be busy, you could be redecorating your home, you'd be starting a new gym program, you could be doing a YouTube channel, you could be, juggling things. You could be juggling 2 people. The Emperor, this is where I got the Virgo energy from. The Virgo is the Hermit represents Virgo, but the Earth sign, the Emperor, represents Taurus, so you might have Taurus in your chart as well. Use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organised, a firm but compassionate leader. You may be a leader in what you do now, what you're teaching. This is like a form of life coaching. Someone told me the other day what I do. It's a transferable skill. So I'm coaching someone, somewhere in the world, on what to do next in their private life. That there's 2 people that they have to choose from, or that they may decide to get married because of the scales, to a Libran or to a Virgo. You may have several options. You've got to make the right choice, the one that's right for you. Don't do what's logical. I don't think love is logical. I watched another reader saying that love is not logical. It's a feeling. It's a gut feeling. It's chemical. It's a chemical reaction. It's alchemical. I was watching recently a Discovery of Witches, and she didn't mean to fall in love with a vampire. She just did. He didn't mean to fall in love with a witch. He just did, because they were completely different species, but then still they fell in love. And it's a dance, and it's a dance of opposites. Sometimes it's a dance of opposites. Sometimes it's a dance of sameness. I know I was complete opposite to my ex-partner who I had children with, my baby daddy, but we somehow managed to get along. But then we didn't stay together because we were so different in so many other ways. He was from another country. He had a different viewpoint. He was a Catholic. I was an Anglican. So many issues that we came up against and butted heads over how to raise our children. Then we've got here the Princess of Swords, which is the person that's interested in you, Virgo. I'm specifically talking to you, is a Libran, Aquarian, or Gemini, but I'm pretty sure if they're not a Libran, they've got a heavy placement in it. They're inquisitive, they're truthful, they're very honest, they may be into social justice. the information that can help you, but which may be difficult to hear, speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. It talks about someone who is an activist, who stands up for the underdog, who stands up for herself and stands up for others if they would. They may be interested in going into law. Sometimes people that have that ability to stand up for others want to go fight for those people who can't. And I think that's an admirable trait. What you've got next is in the cards is from the Enchanted Map, the Oracle cards. I pulled out Moonlight, which is interesting because this channel is called Moonlight Madness. And I pulled out Listening, which is interesting. My son recently had his ears checked, and that same card came out for the water signs I recently did. So if someone's got a problem with their hearing, I suggest they go and get looked into. You may have to have your ears micro sucked out. They call it microsuction, which removes the wax if it's really built up. And it got to the point my son couldn't hear. And I wondered why he wasn't answering the phone. It's because he couldn't hear properly. It explains so much to me now. I just thought he wasn't a phone person, but no, he had a cold. He had like COVID symptoms, and then the ears blocked and he couldn't hear a thing. And he uses the microphone for a work situation. He has to have headphones on because he's listening when people need him to go and unpack something. He's a night packer. He's studying to be a psychologist. So I now understand. I took offense to it. I just thought he didn't want to talk to me, but it was these ears that have been playing out for quite some time. He also has wisdom teeth he needs to have removed, and I think that's affected his entire system. I was sick for 2 years before I had my wisdom teeth removed. I'm beginning to think I'm going to have to get him to have them removed because he keeps getting colds and sick all the time. He soldiers on, bless him. He goes to work. He still goes to uni. He still does his job. But he gets, when he's sick, he's sick. And he's got asthma. When this card appears, you're being reminded there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to not what is being said at the moment. For the message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. The Moonlight is number 51, just 2 cards beneath that one, which is interesting. It's gone in succession from 51 to 53. This person that is interested in you may be 51 or just turned 51 and is a Libran. We recently had Libra season in October. Moonlight beckons. We are currently in Scorpion energy, which is interesting. Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, or your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of an intuition is a symbolic one. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. I had a bird cross my path yesterday, so I knew I was either going to do air signs first or earth. I did earth, but then air has come up in the reading. You've got the placement of the Princess of Swords. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. So you have to follow. You might get a message on a truck that said, like there's a truck that goes past that says Booby. That's my nickname for my youngest. Booby Ooby. Booby Wooby. Ooby. And so I knew I was going to hear from him. Little things like that. Just random universal messages that come through by watching or reading a book or watching the side of a truck. I usually get impressions 2 years out. And my biggest impression, psychic impression, was 20 years out. I ran into the twin sister of the girl that used to date the guy I was in love with that was a Air Force mechanic of fighter jets that I met here on a tour of duty in Newcastle, Australia at the brewery when I was only 19. And I didn't know he was engaged. He had no ring, he had no nothing. Years later, he came back. He was doing a 12-step program and he wanted my forgiveness and he wanted to apologise for not turning up on my 21st birthday. He left me stranded at the airport because he got married to her. I didn't know. I never got a background story. I was psychic, but I wasn't that psychic. But then I did dream about this woman with red hair that was in his life. And I said, you're seeing someone. Who is it that you're seeing? You're married. And we argued, and I was in Japan at the time, in the barracks, or I shouldn't have been there, I snuck in there. And we argued and we fought. I said, I accused him of being married and an adulterer, and how dare he lead me on? But there wasn't, I had sensed marriage somewhere, but it wasn't. He wasn't married. It was his ex-girlfriend that he almost married, apparently, who had red hair and had a baby with someone else, got married to someone else. I was sensing her energy. Years later,